Hello there, this is Gidon Ariel of Root Source, and I'm happy to bring you part two of my lesson about Sukkot. Sukkot is the holiday, the festival, the Feast of Tabernacles, and we discussed in our last lesson how about the commandments of that holiday, that you must build a hut called a sukkah, and you have to take four plants and be happy with them, all sorts of stuff like that. So today we're going to talk about a half a dozen other aspects of this holiday, because it's a long holiday full of fun traditions, commandments, and things to do. So here's an interesting sukkah in the middle of a forest. I think that's pretty high-class furniture in there. Most of the time, what I see, it's plastic chairs and folding tables, but we have to try to make it look pretty, and I personally think this is a pretty nice-looking sukkah. We now come to the fact that the Sukkot is a 7-day or 8-day festival, and here's a picture of one of the traditions that the holiday of Sukkot is associated with. It's called Hoshanot. We say every day in the prayer, the Hallel, the 5 or 6 or so psalms of praise towards the end of the book of Psalms, which has 150 psalms in it. I think it might be the last 5 or the penultimate last 5, like 150 to 155, something like that. Excuse me. So we praise God using these psalms in many opportunities. One of the opportunities is during the holiday of Sukkot, and during the recitation of these psalms, everybody takes their lulav and etrog. I mentioned the commandments to take the palm frond and the citron fruit in my last lesson. And everybody takes it and starts walking around the synagogue. And it's a sight to behold. I think this is a pretty nice photograph of it. If it does it for you, great. If not, okay. That's the way it goes. But it's really very beautiful. And look at this beautiful synagogue over here. It seems to me that they replaced some of the decorations here in honor of the holiday, which is also a tradition. You might notice this here in the middle on the table where they read the Torah from, and here this gentleman in the middle is holding the Torah. They take out the Torah from the Holy Ark, and they dance and they walk around it. And they bring the Torah to the central table where it usually is read. If you can see, the tablecloth here is white, as is the screen on that is open where the Holy Ark is open. It is also white. This is often replaced throughout the year. It's red or green or blue or something like that. And then for the high holidays and for the festivals, it's replaced with something white. So this is a very beautiful aspect of the holiday. Notice, though, that the gentlemen here are wearing their regular day clothes, because what we have here in the middle of the holiday of Sukkot, the 7-day long holiday, is called Chol HaMoed. I'll get to that later in this lesson. Another tradition during the holiday of Sukkot is called Ushpizin. Ushpizin is an Aramaic word that means guests, that you invite guests to your home. So we invite guests to our sukkah. Here's the sukkah again. But these aren't just any old guests. These are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the 3 patriarchs of the Jewish people. Joseph, who was Jacob's son and was singled out amongst all of Jacob's sons. And so that's why he got a special invitation here. Moses and Aaron, two other pretty important characters in Jewish history, and David, the king. And each, in this image, we see various depictions of each of these gentlemen. I will tell you why. Abraham, there's a picture here of a tent with a little bit of an opening. That's because Abraham was a man of great grace and liked to help people out, loved people. His tent had openings on all four sides. You can't see it in this caricature, but wherever people would come from, Abraham was welcoming them into his tent, so he could host them. Isaac, he was sacrificed, as we know, the binding of Isaac. We discussed this on a lesson recently, I believe, on Rosh Hashanah, on the Jewish New Year. So this is a shofar, and so that is with a connection to Isaac. Jacob had a dream with the ladder, Jacob's ladder from the land through the heavens. Joseph also had a dream with the sun and the moon and 11 stars. I didn't count these stars, but I know that that's what the dream is. So I bet there's 11 stars here. 3, 3, 3, and 2, 11. Moses was the lawgiver. Here is a depiction of the Ten Commandments. Aaron was the priest. Here is a depiction of the priest's breastplate. And David, of course, is King David. So here's a picture of his crown. And every night of the holiday, before we sit down to eat, people who have this tradition will invite each one, all of these 7 guests, but specifically point out one of them and say, tonight is your night. So the first night is Abraham, second is Isaac, etc. Okay, that's something cute. Kids like to make pictures of this also. Okay, so we said that the holiday is a 7-day long holiday. So what are you going to do for 7 days? The first day is like a Saturday, is like Shabbat, so you can't go out or do anything like that. So you're in the synagogue, or you're at home eating, maybe talking with your friends. But throughout the week, you're allowed to drive. You're allowed to turn on lights. You're allowed to do all sorts of activities that for a regular holiday or Shabbat are prohibited. So that is why it is very traditional, both in Israel and in Jewish communities around the world, that everybody's on vacation. And so you have people walking around and going to circuses and going shopping. And here's another little kind of circus. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see another few things that I get out of it. Here's a family that doesn't get to go whitewater rafting too much, but Sukkot is an opportunity. And here are some Orthodox women riding a bicycle built for 4 or for 6 or something like this. You get out there. During the year, you're busy working, you're busy learning. Go out and refresh yourselves. That's what we do in Simcha during the break, during the whole week of Chol HaMoed. Chol HaMoed means a regular, not holy, not profane, but not holy. Secular, I guess you could call it. And Moed means a feast or a festival or an appointed time. So if that's like the holiday, so is it a weekday or a holiday? And the answer is it's a little bit of both. That's what happens during the week of Simchat Torah, of Chol HaMoed during Sukkot. And here's another picture of something else that we do every night, like when we invite to our sukkah the guests, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron, and David. We also like to dance, and we go to various different places where they have celebrations, and they're just dancing all night. And here are some pictures of a whole bunch of Orthodox Jews dancing, and here's a caricature of one. But I want to point out here something, make this a little bit bigger for you to see. This is the one that I want you to see. Here is where it all started out. This is a tradition from the time of the Talmud, and even before. Remember, the Talmud was written after the Second Temple was destroyed, but it talks a lot about when the Second Temple was standing. And here are better days when Jews from all over would make their pilgrimage to Jerusalem and to the Holy Temple. And here they are dancing, dancing, dancing in the courtyards of the Holy Temple. They're down here, the men are dancing. Up here, the women are watching and dancing. I'm not sure what the point of this. I think I know what the point of this picture is. They're trying to point. It's two pictures, as it were. This is during the day, and they were partying all day and all night. Here's another picture of what they would do there, as it's written in the Talmud. There were some men, great rabbis, who were good at juggling with fire. So they would grab hold of torches and they would juggle them. This is a painting that doesn't depict that too much, but this is here's a picture of some guy or a whole bunch of people juggling human beings. I'm not sure, but it's just a wild party all the time, and that's what happens on Simchat Beit HaShoah during the week of Chol HaMoed, the holiday of Sukkot. Now, something else happened last year, and happens every 7 years, especially in the renewed Jewish state of Israel. It's called Hakhel. Hakhel means assembling a whole group, a whole community, and all of Israel are anyway in Jerusalem by the temple for the pilgrimage holiday. So every seventh year, after the seventh year of Shemitah, the seventh year when you don't do agriculture and stuff like that, you don't do farming. Every seventh year, the Torah commands us to get together and to listen to reading of the Torah. This is a picture of one of those events. I don't know if it probably didn't happen last year. It might have happened 8 years ago, or 15 years ago, or maybe more. I don't know. People who are better at figuring out the styles of clothing and hair and stuff like that can figure that out. I can't, but here's the picture from the women's section, and of course there was a men's section. I think I might have another picture over here. No. There tens of thousands of people ascend to the Kotel, the Western Wall Plaza, and the Temple Mount, and it's certainly a sight to be seen and to participate, a historic event every 7 years. And again, this is a beautiful, I think, not an excellent Photoshop, but it really makes the point of showing. This, of course, is a depiction of the Second Temple, built by Herod, a very great and imposing structure. And here are thousands, legions of women on this side, men on this side. The Talmud makes pains to point out that there were no mixing of the genders, even at such a holy event such as this. And who's this in the middle? This is the king reading the Torah. He is reading it because that is what the Torah itself says that he should be doing. And this is without this is a depiction of the event as it happened towards the end of the Second Temple period. So it's obvious that they didn't have Bose earphones or microphones or other sound equipment. So everybody had to be pretty quiet as much as they could. The king had to have a real booming voice, And everybody would listen as he read the Torah. Truly a sight to behold. Okay, now the most important part of this of the second time of the second lesson about Sukkot is the last day of Sukkot. We just like the first day, like I said, is a holiday where we are restricted of what kind of secular activities we can do. We can't drive, can't turn on lights, can't cook, stuff like that. Very much like Shabbat. Same thing as the last day. But the last day in the Torah has a different connotation, a different name. It's called Shmini Atzeret. It means basically the 8th day of solemn assembly. It's different from Sukkot because we don't sit in the Sukkah. But here in Israel, that day of Shmini Atzeret, the 8th day holiday, has a much later rabbinical tradition dressed on it, placed on it, overlapping it. It's called Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah means the happiness, the celebrating of the Torah. I think this is a beautiful picture that we see over here of a young man carrying a scroll of the Torah, dancing in ecstasy, together with all the other people around him, dancing, dancing, dancing. This happens on the night of Simchat Torah. During right after the prayer, everybody starts taking out the Torah scrolls from the Holy Ark, and they just dance for hours. And if you didn't have enough of that, then the next morning after the morning service, you do the same thing. You dance for hours, and people go out of the synagogue and they dance to the next synagogue and they dance to the center of town, and everybody, even the non-religious people, get together. It's just such a wonderful holiday. So much so that there's a tradition of, that is called hakafot. Hakafot means encircling. It's a short code word for this dancing that I'm talking about, because that's the way Jews dance. They just dance in a circle, like the hora. Not very creative, but that's what we do. Anyway, they love it so much so that they've added on extra hakafot called hakafot shniyot, the second round of this kind of dancing, and it's held after the holiday is over. Okay, the holiday is over. It's been an 8-day holiday, 8-day long holiday. How much celebration can you stand? Well, guess what? We're not done. We want to stick around another evening. I know that we got to go and we've got to take apart those Sukkot. They can't stay up all year round. We got to go take them down. And we got to go get ready back to normality, but I don't care. We want to dance some more. So they go out to the center of the town, center of the city center, and hundreds and thousands of people, religious, not religious, old, young, everybody just dances. You just got to see it to believe it, how much fun this is. All right, so we have just talked all about the holiday of Sukkot for the second time. Look at this month of Tishrei. It starts out, first of all, with the day before Rosh Hashanah. Every day before a holiday is a special day. It takes preparation. You get the household clean. You cook special meals. So those are, even though this calendar doesn't really color them something special, they do a little bit. They put these candles here. So every day that there's a candle, consider it also these are 2 candles. Yeah, yellow light. Every day that there's a candle on this calendar, consider it a special day. And certainly the colors days. So you've got the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. We talked about that in a lesson. The day after that is the fast of Gedalia. It's a special day. It's not a very happy day, but it's a somewhat special day. Then we got Shabbat. All these purple ones are Shabbat, and Friday every week is a special preparation day for the special Friday. Okay, here's Columbus Day. We don't observe that in Israel. And then is the day before Rosh Hashanah. Yom Kippur. Very, very important, holiest day of the year. So the day before, it even got its own color on this calendar. Another Friday, another Shabbat. Then it's Erev, the day before Sukkot. Here it is, the day of Sukkot. We're doing good. And then we have Chol HaMoed. This is a calendar created for the diaspora, where some holidays are 2 days long instead of 1 day long. Doesn't matter. We get the idea. In Israel, it's only this 1 day, and this Tuesday will have the same color as these Chol HaMoed, and it won't be Chol HaMoed won't be. This is the first day, the second day, the third day. This will be the first day. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though it's Friday, it's still Chol HaMoed. Saturday is also Chol HaMoed. It's to be the 5th day of Chol HaMoed, and the 6th day of Chol HaMoed is Hoshana Rabbah. I didn't even mention that, but I did talk about Hoshana walking around the Torah every day of Chol HaMoed and Sukkot, and we do it 7 times 7. It's just so much dancing, and it's crazy. Then comes Shmini Atzeret. In Israel, Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah are both celebrated on the same day. In 2016, this year, it is celebrated on Monday, October 24th. And then Isru Chag means the day after the holiday, the after party, what happens when you drink at night, in the morning you have a hangover. It's hangover day. So in Israel, kids are off from school that day, and their parents have a headache because they got to get back to work because they've been partying all week. And look at this, and then again Shabbat comes, and Friday of it, and then Rosh Chodesh. It's a little yellow. It's not. It really doesn't deserve the same yellow as this. It's not a special holiday, but it is something to talk about. Look at what we've got over here. A 30-day month, even 31 if you count the day before, which you should. And there's barely a week, barely 7 days here that are normal work days. So when we in Israel say we'll get back to you after the Chagim, we'll get back to you after the holidays, because that means that you're not going to get too much work done this month, which is fine. This is the month that we want to dedicate to God our relationship with Him. This is the month of Tishrei. This was the holiday of Sukkot. And Cheshvan then comes the next month. Here it says even Cheshvan. It's a bit of a downer. There are no holidays in Cheshvan, no special commemoration days. But it's okay. You got to work a little bit. Got to get stuff done. And this has been a lesson about Sukkot from Root Source. I do hope that you'll come and visit us, and I hope that we will be able to teach you some more. Please be in touch with me through that website or my email. Here it is. I'm Gidon Ariel, and I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Shalom, shalom.